Alright guys, I wanted to come today and talk about not really Apex but a different Battle Royale game, and this game is called Hyperscape. Now before we get into the video guys, I want to say a huge thanks for 30k subscribers. We actually just hit 30k like what 1 or 2 days ago, and we're already at 31.5k, which is that's just madness. That's crazy. So I appreciate all of the likes, all of the comments, all of the subscriptions. I appreciate all of it, and I think the next goal to hit now is 50k, which is even more crazy. So thank you guys again, I appreciate it, and let's talk about Hyperscape. I'm sure you guys have actually heard about this game somewhere. It was just recently released by Ubisoft, and basically it's a FPS Battle Royale game which has been getting a lot of attention recently. Now the reason I wanted to come today and talk about Hyperscape is because I think that this game could potentially be a very big threat to Apex if Ubisoft really, markets it correctly, and if people just happen to like it enough, because the only Battle Royale games out right now which pose any threat to Apex are Warzone and Fortnite. I don't think Warzone could really affect Apex in a bad way, because Warzone is more of a boots on ground, it's more of a straightforward type of Battle Royale game, and it doesn't really have the same movement, the same mechanics that Apex has, which is why Apex players would still continue to play Apex. Fortnite is just not the same thing as Apex. Again, it's a different game on a whole. The whole concept of Fortnite is just different as well. It's also not a FPS, it's a third-person shooter, so I think Apex players again will continue to play Apex. Now the reason Hyperscape is so special is because Hyperscape, yes, it's a FPS game, yes, it's a Battle Royale game, but it's also a squad-based Battle Royale game that has very good movement. If you ask any Apex players, any Apex pros, anyone who really just holds Apex in any kind of high regard, they all say that Apex has some of the best movement, if not the best movement out right now in any Battle Royale game, and I agree. But with Hyperscape just being released, right, if you guys have seen any Hyperscape gameplay, it's a very fast game, very movement oriented, and this might entice some Apex players, some Apex content creators and streamers alike, and this might actually cause them to go and make a switch to Hyperscape. Now obviously it's still way too early to tell if Hyperscape really would have a big impact on the Apex player base. It just came out, it's still only on PC, it hasn't gone to console as yet, but I think everyone who is just interested in the lifespan of Apex and Battle Royale games on a whole should keep an eye out for Hyperscape, because it's kind of like creeping up slowly, and it could possibly captivate some Apex fans. So let's look at the facts again, right guys? Hyperscape is a squad-based Battle Royale game, obviously very similar to Apex. Hyperscape is going to be on every single platform, PC, Xbox One and PS4 eventually, which obviously is the exact same thing with Apex. Hyperscape has very fast and fluid movement, which obviously kind of mimics Apex in the sense that Apex is very movement based as well, and Ubisoft is also heavily pushing Hyperscape on Twitch, which is exactly what Apex did, or should I say what EA did when Apex first came out. So I'm not saying that Hyperscape is gonna quote unquote kill Apex. Obviously Apex is way too solidified right now to just like die down, especially so quickly, but as I said, right, everyone should just keep an eye out for this game, because who knows what Ubisoft has in mind, and who knows what potential this game actually holds. Like, what could this game potentially become if it has the right backing, the right production, the right dev team? It might have a lot of potential to be a very successful game. Now with all that said, right, here's the most positive thing about this all. Because Hyperscape just came out, because Hyperscape is also in the exact same genre of Apex, and it's kind of like targeting the exact same players, this most likely will influence EA as well as Respawn to make some positive changes to just keep this community happy. I've said this before in many different videos guys, but healthy competition is very real in the gaming industry, and developers obviously want to keep their fan base and certify their game as well. So when a new game comes out, especially in the exact same genre, if it poses a big enough threat, obviously the devs and the publishers and stuff will do what they can to keep their game ahead of the competition. We saw this when Warzone was released. I think like 2 weeks after Warzone came out, Respawn just randomly decided to add in duos and Kings Canyon permanently, it wasn't a coincidence guys. It was because Warzone was just released and everyone was basically comparing Warzone to Apex and saying how Warzone has solos and Warzone has this and Warzone has that. So it prompted a response from Respawn and EA, which is why they introduced duos as well as Kings Canyon permanently at that time. So if Hyperscape continues to grow on Twitch, on YouTube, it gets more fans, more players and stuff, and it threatens Apex Legends enough. In the long term, guys, this will ultimately benefit Apex and we will see much more content because of this. Trust me, it always happens. So I'm kind of low-key hoping that Hyperscape is a big game, because then Apex will just naturally become even bigger. So yeah. Now what do you guys think of Hyperscape? Comment down below. Have you actually played the game before? Do you think it's fun? Do you think it's trash? What are your thoughts on that game? Comment right now and let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in some more Apex. Till next time.